here is directed and produced by Robert Zemeckis, who also did Castaway and Forrest Gump. And this film stars Tom Hanks, Robin Wright, Paul Bettany, and Kelly Riley, among other actors. But the story of this film, it pretty much covers the events of a single spot of land and all of its inhabitants, spanning from the past all the way well into the future. And I didn't see a single trailer for this. I didn't see the trailer for this on YouTube. It just came out of nowhere, pretty randomly, to be honest. And the movie is directed by Robert Zemeckis, who, like I said, he did Castaway, and he did Castaway and Forrest Gump, both starring Tom Hanks. And it seems like Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks, like they collaborate and work with each other. I feel like I'm pretty sure they are close friends. But yeah, this is kind of like a reunion with all three of them. Robert Zemeckis, director, and to the two actors, Robin Wright and Tom Hanks, all three of them. It's a reunion. They're reunited, all three of them. But yeah, so in this film, I after I've watched this movie, I was a little bit confused, so I went back home and I rewatched the trailer for this film again on YouTube, and I was really trying to focus on it, and I didn't know Paul Bettany was in this movie, and until I watched like an interview on, like, I think it was Good Morning America or ABC, some news channel, where they interviewed Paul Bettany, where in this film he talked about like his character and his part in this film. And in this film he talked about like playing Tom Hanks' father in this film, and I was like, oh, that's very interesting. I didn't know Paul Bettany was him. I love seeing Paul Bettany. I love Paul Bettany. He's a great actor. And yeah, I did. And also, another thing I didn't know, besides Paul Bettany being in here, was that this film is based on the 2014 graphic novel, by Richard McGuire. I didn't read. It seems like a lot of movies, a lot of films are based on like either a comic book slash graphic novel, a manga, or some kind of like novel. It's always based on it's always based on a novel. I've never seen it, but I heard everyone's been, I read about this film, and that this movie is like, I think I looked it up, and this movie is an hour and 44 minutes, and this entire film is shot. A majority of this film is shot, if not 100%, is shot in just one setting. Just, I think it's the living room. The whole film is shot in the living room, and that is gutsy. That is pretty gutsy. There, it's very. I've seen, like, I'm 24 years old, ladies and gentlemen, and I have seen dozens and dozens of movies, of films. But it's very rare for me for me to watch a movie where it just takes place in one setting. I think, if I remember correctly, the last movie I saw that like the whole movie was like in one location was The Lighthouse. It was the Lighthouse. I think it was A24. I think A24 was the distributor, and the movie it was black and white, and the movie starred Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. And the whole movie is like taking place like in the interior of the lighthouse itself, and that movie was great. It's fantastic. I love that movie. And this is like movies that deal with emotions and love and feelings and joy, sadness. I'm like, I don't know if I can handle that because, I love family. I love movies that are all about family, whether it's your biological families or whether it's your closest friends, you know. And I had a feeling in my mind that this movie might make me cry. And ladies and gentlemen, I was like bawling in tears. Um, I didn't bring any tissues. I didn't bring any tissues with me when I saw this film. I think it's wonderful. I don't think it's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I have mixed feelings about this film from a critical standpoint. I think, it's so like Robert Zemeckis did a great job. I think he did a really good, solid job. Um, Fuck that. He did a great job. Directing this film, and like I said, pretty ballsy, pretty gutsy. What having the whole film shot in just the living room, pretty much the living room of this house. Um, and it's so heartening. This film is very heartening, and the acting, like I know, like you see the posters, and it says Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, like their names are plastered on the posters of this film, but really, Paul Bettany. I feel like Paul Bettany, no offense to Tom Hanks, like I love Tom Hanks. He's Tom Hanks, but Paul Bettany, I think his performance in this film I think he outshined Tom Hanks. Paul Bettany outshined um Tom Hanks. His I when I After I left this movie, after the movie was over and I left the theater, I can't stop thinking about Paul Bettany's tremendous, his acting, his talented performance, rather than, Tom Hanks, because, Tom Hanks is in this film is his son, is Paul Bettany's son. So yeah, I just can't stop thinking about Paul Bettany. Great performance, from him. And, yeah, like this movie is very, humanistic, very heartening, very heartbreaking. If you've seen the trailer, um, you know what to expect. You should know what to expect when going into this movie. Like this movie is going to be filled with joy, happiness, loss, sadness, remorse, all that stuff. And I think it did a great job. Although I felt like my main problem with this film, and it's a very big problem, my primary issue with this film is that some, like Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, they're they're a couple in this film, and their story within this film kind of like the movie focused more on their storyline, on their marriage, their life, than the other couples, the Native Americans, um, couple, and the African American couple, um, and going back in the decades, I felt like, I get it, like Max, like their names are like they are the two main primary actors in this film. What did you expect? Sure, but like I just wished it would have been like evenly balanced. I just wish the whole movie was like evenly balanced. There were some I was really confused. I gotta be completely honest with you. Like personally and honestly, like I said, I didn't there were some characters and some faces and some, couples, their lives. I don't really know their names. I don't know what's going on. I got a little bit confused. I can't really talk too much about that without going into spoilers, so that's all I can say for now. But yeah. Um I felt like this movie would have been better as a theater play rather than like a theatrical film, if you know what I mean. That's another issue I have with it. But other than that, I love this movie. Other than that, I love this movie. But yeah, like I said, like throughout, like this entire film is like going through like different generations, and you get to meet like different couples, different, husbands and wives and their lives, their family. I just wish it would have been evenly balanced. We get to spend more time with the other, like the Native American couple or the African American couple. I wish we got us we had we I wish there was more time to spend with those characters, because I barely know them. I don't know their characters names, because the movies focus so much on Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, which, yes, I know. Again, I know, like their names, they are the two primary actors, and their names are like all over the posters and the trailer for the film. I get it, but I still I wish it would have been evenly balanced. But other than that, I thought this was a really nice, um is it, it's November, like Halloween is over, it's November. I think this is a very good Thanksgiving gift. You guys can go out in theaters. You guys can go out in theaters and watch this movie. I recommend it. I recommend watching this movie in theaters. You'll have a really nice and heartbreaking, heartwarming time and experience with this film. Or if you want, you can wait until Thanksgiving weekend, when this movie comes, for this, to watch this movie. But Wicked and Gladiator 2 is coming out like a week before Thanksgiving weekend, so you might want to see instead. But whatever you choose is fine. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to listen to my review, my thoughts on Here. Please like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe, because it'll help me a lot, and you would help me a lot. Yeah, I'm thankful for that. I appreciate that, and I am grateful for all that. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.